There are some questions that people will always ask themselves. Where do we come from? Where do we go when we die? Why is Charlie so short? And what can finally kill a business that's too big to fail? We've only seen this a few times in our history with things like Blockbuster, an absolute titan that completely crumbled. But usually there's some things that a lot of people just believe will never fail because they're so big. YouTube, Google, Facebook, these kind of staples. And among those is Twitch, I imagine. For a long time, Twitch has been the go-to spot for live streaming. Of course, there are alternatives, there has been competition, but Twitch has managed to remain king and sits atop a pile of mangled corpses from shitty startups that just couldn't make it in the industry. God rest the soul of Mixer, gone but not forgotten. And then there's also really niche ones like DLive, which I don't know what the fuck's going on with DLive, but I remember you used to be able to cheer things called lemons, so maybe the lemons are still going well. I couldn't tell you, but all I know for sure is Twitch is still the #1 live streaming platform. YouTube is catching up though. YouTube's been making big power moves, but Twitch has still managed to hold on to its stranglehold on streaming. But today I think that crown is threatened. I believe we're about to enter the Game of Thrones here for who's going to be the #1 live streaming platform because Twitch may have just publicly committed suicide, or at the very least shot themselves in the foot 1,000 times publicly. Now, before I get into this, I'm not exaggerating. I really do believe this decision Twitch has made is massively impactful for the overall health and longevity of the platform, and I'm going to explain why in great detail. I swear to God, this week has been the most eventful week in the entire history of the cyberspace. Since the creation of the World Wide Web, no week has been this wild. So, today, out of nowhere, at like 4 a.m. my time, Twitch dropped an announcement on a policy update that's on the horizon, and it's a doozy. So buckle your seatbelt and keep your hands inside the ride at all times because we're going in deep. This is downright baffling that they thought this was a good idea. So the announcement is all about their revenue split as well as a couple of other things that they briefly touch on, but the big focal point here is what they're going to be changing with their streamer revenue split. For those that don't know, when you stream on Twitch, you can have subs. If you're an affiliate, a partner, you get a sub button, which is something that viewers can click on and pay you like $5 a month to support you as well as get emotes in return. Now, streamers split this $5 with Twitch. Twitch takes 50%, 50% goes to the streamer. However, for as long as I can remember, they've also had a 70-30 split where 70% goes to the streamer and only 30% goes to Twitch. That's something that isn't exactly secretive. It's not something that's only existed in hushed whispers behind the dumpsters or anything like that. It's been something that's been publicly discussed for a long time. The 70-30 split was reserved for like partners on the upper echelon of streaming. And for a long time, I, as well as pretty much everyone else on the platform, has always said that the revenue split across the entire platform should be a flat 70-30 for all creators of all sizes, to match YouTube at the very least. YouTube is 70-30 for all their streamers. 70% to streamers, 30% to YouTube. But Twitch, that deal is only reserved for the select few partners that get that. Everyone else is 50-50, which makes no sense, honestly, because it should just be a 70-30 split straight up. Now, when I first saw this announcement be posted, I got starry-eyed. I was like, holy shit, Twitch is about to cop the fattest W in internet history with this announcement. They're going to announce that every streamer is getting a 70-30 split. This is what everyone's been wanting for years. Let's fucking go. But then the reality set in. Just like a man who unfortunately came home early from work and found his wife cheating on him, I was devastated. Because what they actually were explaining is that they were just getting rid of the 70-30 deal altogether. They explained that they'll no longer be offering the 70-30 contracts to any streamers, as well as mentioning the alteration to existing 70-30 premiums. So creators that are already used to the 70-30 deals will maintain 70-30 up to 100 grand, and after 100 grand, it then goes to 50-50. So instead of bringing all creators up to 70-30, they bring everyone down to 50-50. And I'm sure a lot of you think like it's unreasonable to expect them to do 70-30 deals for everyone, but it's really not. They're backed by Amazon. They have a massive purse that they could tap into for moves like this. YouTube has 70-30 deals for every streamer. Like that is the standard. And you're telling me Twitch, which is the literal #1 streaming platform and has been for a fucking decade now, can't match that deal? How is YouTube, which is only just now really starting to figure out the streaming space, able to do a better job at something Twitch pioneered? It's kind of fucking crazy to me. So Twitch came in like a burglar in the night, but instead of stealing a television, they just stole 20% from the creators that helped make their platform pop off in the first place. According to some of the math I've seen floating around, overall this is a 29% decrease in revenue for streamers that were on the 70/30 deal. But again, that's for the upper echelon of streaming, so they're gonna be fine, you know? Your heart shouldn't be breaking like, holy fuck, they're gonna be homeless now. It's a slap in the face to them for sure, but they're going to be okay. They're very well off. But you would expect, if they're taking 20% back from those streamers, you would expect Twitch to be using that money to improve the platform, or being like, you know what? Since we're taking this, here's how we're gonna make the platform better for viewers and for streamers. But they're not. They're making it worse. They continue to shit where they eat. They announced this part in the same blog post. I guess like the first part was supposed to be the bad news, like hitting you with the cold water right away. 70/30 contracts are gone. But here's the dessert. Here's the good stuff coming. Our recent bump in ads revenue share to 55% as part of our ads incentive program is a great way for these larger streamers to make up most, if not all, of that revenue. How can you be this out of touch? It's mind-blowing. The shamelessness here to try and pitch this like a positive or noble thing. Yeah, so you guys are making less money on subs and Twitch is making more. So what? Boo-hoo, cry about it. Just run more ads, idiot. You stupid asshole. Just keep playing more ads for us, baby. Keep greasing the machine. More ads. That'll solve it. They're like fucking Mr. Krabs over here with this insatiable greed and their fixation on ads. They're trying to make Twitch like TV where you get 15 minutes of ads per hour. It's crazy here. Right now the maximum contract on Twitch is 4 minutes of ads per hour. Yeah, it's not as much as TV, but that alone right there is still significantly more ads than you're going to get on YouTube. Plus, Twitch's ads are significantly more intrusive. They're unskippable ads, whereas YouTube has skippable ones. Like, they're just so behind here. And they're trying very hard to push these larger streamers to do as many ads as possible. By taking away that 20% and then like bumping up their split on ad revenue as a way of kind of like nudging them like, hey, I know you missed that 20%. Why not just click that 3-minute ad button one more time for us? Maybe 2 or 3 more times so you can actually get back to where you were. It's horrible. It's not only bad for streamers who don't want to run ads, which is all of them. The only streamers that run ads are the ones that are contractually obligated to. It's also awful for viewers because it completely ruins the experience. Again, these are unskippable ads and they will go for literally 8 back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back ads. Nobody wants that. It's a terrible viewing experience. It's dog shit. And that's going to be even more prevalent should this change go forward as written. Now let's dive into why I believe this change will have a massively detrimental effect on the platform as a whole. I think what's going to happen here is like a full-blown exodus. I feel like this is going to be straight up Matt Damon being sent to Mars here. There's going to be a lot of top-level streamers, I think, that no longer exclusively stream on Twitch. You might remember recently Twitch made a change to another policy which forbids streamers from streaming anywhere else once they're a partner. That got lifted, so as just a normal partner, you can simultaneously stream on Twitch and YouTube if you want to. That doesn't apply to the streamers that have the 70/30 contracts. Those are much more strict. And those contracts, they ask a lot of the streamer. From ad incentives, which can go up to 4 minutes per hour, all the way to the stream hours they require per month, which can go from like 160 to 180 hours, which is a lot. That's a big ask. And a lot of the streamers are used to that. They've been grinding that for a long time at that 70/30 mark. But now, with that 70/30 mark completely changing and going back down, they're going to start to wonder, is it worth it, you know? Like, they took a huge hit to their sub revenue, but they're still grinding for less money. Why would they then stay exclusive with Twitch when they can just not renew their contract and simultaneously stream on Twitch and YouTube? Or, better yet, why not go to YouTube, who's going to pay them a bag to get there, like straight up 7 figures worth of doubloons, straight big schmeckles to go over there? Why wouldn't they just take that, go to YouTube, which has the 70/30 split they're used to, as well as significantly more lax contracts? Ludwig recently showed his hours streamed for a month, and he's not even breaking 120 hours. That's nothing on Twitch. Whereas YouTube, it's more lax, it's the 70/30 split you're used to, the ads are less intrusive, and there's no huge ad requirement in YouTube contracts that I know of, and you're getting paid to go over there. Why the fuck would you stay on Twitch? Twitch has nothing at that point. The only thing Twitch has over YouTube then is the chat, and Twitch chat is a million times better than YouTube chat, just straight up, that is an objective truth. 100%. But if YouTube ever fixes their chat, then there's really no reason to stay on Twitch. And even as a viewer too, because once all of these new policies roll out that they've announced here, the changes, your experience as a viewer is going to be worse because you're going to be inundated with ads constantly. It's going to be like fucking brainwashing with how many advertisements that'll be shoved down your throat. It is killing the big streamers' motivation to stay there because YouTube is just the better offer. It's the better deal. And if you don't want to exclusively stream on YouTube, why wouldn't you just simultaneously stream on both then and double dip, double fist here? There's no reason to be exclusive on Twitch once this change comes, because all it's going to do is be an added stress and a worse experience for your viewers. Because once you take this new Twitch contract, you're going to have to run more ads, which makes it an unwatchable stream. When there's a ton of ads on a stream, I leave. Most people do, because they're super intrusive, they ruin it. No one likes the ad breaks. When I do an ad break, it's because I went up to go pee, and I'll just run ads while I'm peeing so no one's missing anything. But I can't piss fucking 5 times an hour in order to hit the new ad density requirements. Like that's, my bladder's not built that way. I'm not a fucking superhero, right? With great power comes great pissing, but I'm just not there yet. It's just super stupid. Like, they're not even addressing the problem with the ads with how intrusive they are. They're still pre-roll ads, which immediately kill discoverability for smaller streamers, because if someone's clicking on a stream they're unfamiliar with, they're not going to sit through 6 ads that play against the creator's will. They'll see the ads come up and they'll immediately leave, so now they've lost a potential new viewer. Like, the ads are a huge problem on Twitch that are not being addressed. Instead, they're just doubling down on the current ad status, like how they pre-roll, how they're unskippable, and just subtly push streamers to run more of them in order to make up for lost revenue that Twitch took back from them. It's just such a fucking backwards idea that they had the chutzpah, the gall, to try and spin as something noble. When you read this blog post, they write it as if they're some saint. Like, as if they're doing the platform a favor, like this is somehow a good thing. When under no interpretation of this policy is it a good thing. I don't know how it can possibly be spun as a positive thing unless people really fixate on, wow, creators get a little more percentage of the ad revenue. Oh, that's great. I can't wait to see more ads from them. It's just so fucking insulting. And then they even had the audacity in this policy update to mention how expensive it is to run the site, as if anyone is surprised by that. It's Twitch. Of course it's going to cost a ton of fucking money to run the site. You know what else costs a ton to run? YouTube. And you're both backed by massive corporations. You can both afford it. I don't know why that was there in the first place. They slid that in there as like an explanation for why they can't do 70-30 for all the streamers, but it just left a bad taste in my mouth because it doesn't really seem like, it doesn't compute in my mind how Amazon, who owns Twitch, can't somehow figure out a way to compete with YouTube with the 70-30 deal. Like, how is that possible, really? But just to wrap it all up, my point is, I think this policy will drive most of the top streamers, as well as a lot of their viewers, off of Twitch, at least exclusively on Twitch. Because it's going to be a worse viewing experience should this go through, because the streamers will feel obligated to run more ads, even if it's not in their contract. Just the lost revenue that they'll experience from the 70-30 going back to 50-50 is going to be enough to make them want to run those ads in order to make up for that. So that's going to be a worse experience for their viewers, and there's not going to be really any incentive for them to stay on Twitch, because YouTube is just legitimately the better deal, and like they are offering a better deal than Twitch is, just like altogether. So a horrible, horrible, horrible L for Twitch here today that I just wanted to talk about a bit. Well, that's about it. See ya.